And we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the RC Roundtable live. Well, we're a podcast too, but we're live.
We are alive.
Live, yes.
Prove it. We have to bleed.
Okay. Somebody needs to be quarantined for 14 days. I'm Fitz Walker. Joining me is the coughing Lee Ray.
Hey, guys.
And the smirking Terry Dunn. Look on your face, Terry.
I was just waiting to see how you were going to describe me. One never knows.
The look on your face. Wait, I just noticed your strange planes fly better.
'Tis true.
Something I should know. Okay.
Have you met me before?
I've met you, but I can't say they fly better. I've seen some of your planes, your strange planes. They didn't fly better. They flew, but they didn't fly better.
You've seen some of the early iterations. You know how the sausage is made.
Oh, yeah. It's been pretty messy.
Yeah.
Oh, Lee, Adam has noticed your shirt.
I know. I was showing it to him while y'all were talking. I was trying to point it out to Adam.
Adam, I wore mine yesterday when I was out at flying, so I got some use out of it too. Thank you very much. All right, gentlemen, what we got on the plate for today? We got anything interesting happened during the week?
I think Lee actually has something on a plate.
Yeah, that's right. He was munching on something earlier.
That's called a bowl, Terry.
Whatever.
Well, what do you do?
My wonderful wife made me cottage pie.
Cottage pie? What is that?
What's cottage pie?
Well, we would say hamburger meat, but meat, peas, carrots, and mashed potatoes.
Oh, it's like shepherd's pie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cottage pie, shepherd's pie. It's very good.
All right.
Oh, neat. I don't think I've ever had it.
Oh, they used to serve it at the real cafeteria. I was
going to say, the first time I ever ate it was we had a pub. What was the name of the pub down on Alabama and Shepherd? Do you remember, guys?
Not Molly's?
No.
Oh, my goodness. It's really slipped my mind. It's been a long time, but there was this really cool pub that served, English foods with their
Blue
weird
Oyster?
names. No, it'll come to me.
Terry mentioned the Riddle Cafeteria. The only things I remember eating it there was the waffles and Taco Bell next door.
The next door, like in the Student Union?
No,
Or across the street?
Right across from the bookstore. It was a Taco Bell. The little.
Oh, it was on campus?
It was on campus. You don't remember Taco Bell?
I'm going to be Terry now. The Embry Riddle Cafe, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because all you said was Riddle Cafe, and I'm like, riddle me what?
No, I said they used to serve it at Riddle. Yeah. Sorry, I used the shorthand.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right, let's talk about airplane thingies.
Airplane thingies? Well, don't get technical with us.
Yeah.
Okay, so what airplane thingies can we talk about?
I don't know. Do you want to talk about airplane thingies you saw yesterday?
Sure.
Well, hold on. I'm afraid I'll forget. You won't forget yours. So I'm going to mention this right now. Lee, I saw your P-51 pass video. It's amazing. Did Ryan take that?
Ryan took that.
With a cell phone?
Yes.
Man, he was spot on. It was centered. And yeah, give him my regards. That was amazing.
I will.
And the
Chip off the old
sound.
block, huh?
The sound is good. Did you see the bottom comment I made?
I don't remember.
You should make the first few seconds your ringtone.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So what video and where was this?
This was that bomber when the P-51 flew by. Low
Right,
pass.
Right.
So I had my video camera. No one's commented about my P-51 flyby, but Ryan was right behind me, and I told him to do his slow motion video. So that was 240 frames per second in 720. Yeah. And it's just really cool to see it in slow motion. I mean, as best as possible on my when everything had to be converted. I mean, if you look at the iPhone, it's even slower and more awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still a lot of fun. And of course, Daddy had his head in the way. But it's like that. I mean, it's super fast.
So is that only on the Raviation page, or did you put it on our page too?
No, just Raviation. I can share it.
Please. I'm sorry. Did you have a question, Fitz?
No, but I did notice that Lee seems to be out of sync again.
Terry, say something.
Something.
Well, Terry looks in sync.
The voices are in sync. Your video is just off slightly by about half a second.
Well, let's ask our audience, our 5-member audience, if we're out of sync.
Happy Father's Day, Jermaine.
Yeah.
Yes, thanks everybody for joining us. We have a few friends in the chat room already. I see Raymond, Adam, Mr. Rusty. And
Hey, you did that well, Fitz.
hey, I've been practicing.
Yeah. Yes, cue cards.
Working on the names.
Yeah.
So,
Mr. Rusnick.
All right, so I'm sorry, interrupted. You were going to talk about your day out at some event yesterday.
Yes, I went to there's a local club. Forgot their name.
Jotaro?
City? Jotaro, that's it, Jotaro. And which is a town I forgot the name of because it's way out in the middle of nowhere. Do you remember, Lee, where they are? It's northeast
Houston. That's all I know.
Yeah, off of 90. Anyways, they had Cubs and Cousins, a lot like one Lee and I went to a couple of weeks ago. Same thing, anything high wing or biplanes. And actually kind of vacillated on going or not. I was like, I'd like to go get out of the house, but I don't know. The weather looked a little bit wonky in the morning. And I thought, I'll go. Maybe I'll just go for a couple of hours just to get out of the house. And so I packed in just 2 planes, the Ultimate and the Turbo Timber. And I went out, and it was raining a bit in the morning, but by the time I got there, it had cleared out. It turned out to be a really nice day. They had a good group of pilots that showed up. I think 30-something was on a roster when I looked at it. And some of the usual, some of our club members, some people from the other club, some other things of note. It was a nice showing, some really good variety of aircraft out there.
So it wasn't the same cast of characters from the other event?
No.
Okay.
No, there's some similar ones. Some of the same people, but a lot of new people, different people. I ended up have some good conversations with some new guys.
Well, I'm going to mention that a lot of guys that were at the bomber event were in Waco this weekend, so they were at a big Waco event.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
it was a Warbird event, right, in Waco?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But we had some of the ground attack Waco. Speaking of the devil, was there.
Waco.
Remember the biplane, the one that was Waco.
Waco.
Yeah,
Waco.
okay.
Like taco.
Sorry.
Think
Waco.
taco.
Waco. I can't. Waco, Waco, tomato.
There was a Waco that flew in Waco.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, you should remember, Lee, that there was a particular Waco that was of note.
Yes.
At the Cubs and Cousins we went to.
Yes. And
so he was back tearing up the skies and terrorizing the ground.
I'm trying to remember that
No
story.
incidents.
What was it with the Waco?
Well, did he have his first takeoff at the event, Lee? It was up and almost ended in a very bad
parking
ending.
lot.
His first flight with it.
Yeah,
almost ended in a parking lot. But it's notable that it has a 3-cylinder radial engine in it. Very aggressive sounding. It's no mistake when that thing's in the air, and he flies it like he stole it. He flies it like it's a P-51 on a mission to attack anything around. That's why I call it the ground attack Waco.
Waco.
Waco. The Ataco Waco.
Taco. Ground attack taco. So it was a nice. There was we had an unfortunate incident with actually a fellow club member.
Oh, no.
He's got a Christian Eagle. I forgot who makes it. It might have been who makes a big 20cc size Christian Eagle. Was it
Byron used to a long time ago. But
no,
did Great Plains have one?
Anyway,
Great Plains.
maybe it was a Great Plains one.
Yeah.
It might have been a Great Plains one. Very nice looking plane. It's I think it's got a 60-inch wingspan or something along those lines. And there are 2 of them there, 2 of the same ones, and they were tearing with guys flying in formation. Really nice until one tried to occupy the same airspace as the other one. And
Physics doesn't like
it made it did not like that, and so one survived and one didn't.
Oh.
So that was an interesting incident that happened.
Yeah,
that was impressive because it was a whack, and one came down in pieces. The other one was able to actually make a nice landing and looked like it had barely a scratch on it. Anyways, but anyways, it was a nice showing, a nice time out. We got some flights. I actually had an interesting incident. It's not incident, but meeting somebody. There was a gentleman out there that had an old free flight conversion. Oh, I forgot, a Playboy.
Okay.
Does that sound familiar?
Yep.
Like a senior Playboy. Yep. One of those old free flight things that that he had converted. I think it had an OS 40 size engine on it, and him and another gentleman looked like they're preparing to fly it, and they were trying to get the engine running, and I noticed they were having some issues getting the engine to run well. So I kind of just wandered over to see if I could have some assistance. And so they let me tweak the engine a little bit, and we were able to get it running more or less decently. It still had some issues at idle, but enough for him to fly. I guess he had repaired it and gotten it. It was really nice. It was a big plane, 80-inch wingspan. If you ever see one of these free flight, this is an old school 30s era free flight kind of looking thing. The lifting tail, the polyhedral wing, the wings on a pylon, that kind of stuff. We had to add some weight in the nose because these things had like no nose moment arm. And so he wanted to fly it. It was set up just rudder, elevator, throttle. And so we got the thing running, and he got it up in the air, and it flew pretty good. It actually flew really nicely. And the engine ultimately ended up quitting at some point in the air and came back down. And so he said, "Hey, thanks for helping me get this thing tuned in. Then you want to fly it? I'll fill it back up, and you can fly it." And I thought, "Well, that's awfully nice of him." I was like, "Sure, you can't get in trouble with one of these little planes." So we refilled it.
Famous last words.
Wow.
Are you foreshadowing?
No, actually.
Oh, I thought he was.
Oh, good. But I did have it was a little tricky because he only had rudder and an elevator, and they're on opposite sticks. He didn't have the rudder on it.
Oh, he didn't mix it. Okay.
Yeah, he didn't do the mixing. And I kind of politely asked him, do you want to put the rudder on the right stick? He goes, "No, I want to fly it like it's meant to be. The rudder's on the left stick, elevator's on the right stick." So I said, okay, I got to keep a mental note that, only use the left stick. So we take it up again, and I'm kind of alternating between using the right stick and the left stick. And there's a few times I use the right stick to try to turn, like, oh, wait, that's right, it's on the left stick. So I kind of, once I use the left stick, of course, for takeoff and stuff, but once I'm up in the air, I'm kind of, I want to use the right stick. So
But you know what you could do is you could push both at the same time.
Well, I guess I could have done that. That makes too much sense. So it turned out to be a real nice plane. He continued to have problems with the idle. I don't know why we tried changing glow plugs and stuff and tuning it in, but I think there may be something clogged or something in the tank. I don't know what it was, but after a few minutes or so, I had throttled back and the engine quit. But at that point, I was up high enough. I actually caught a bit of a thermal, so I was kind of thermaling the thing a little bit. And actually caught some altitude with it, and he was real impressed with that. And so when I finally came down and landed, he was real appreciative of the help I gave him. And it turns out that the guy had just moved in from east, real far west Texas, El Paso.
El Paso?
And that he is the new associate vice president of the district.
For the AMA?
AMA, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Tom Holmesley. Yeah,
Wait, say it again?
Tom Holmesley.
Okay.
Sound familiar?
No.
I'd never met him before, but apparently he's a District 8 vice president. So I just thought, you never know who you're going to meet at these things, right? You always be nice to people because you never know who you're going to come across. And this gentleman that I just happened to I just felt like helping and just trying to be nice. Turned out to be the VP of the AMA district.
And did you say, "Hi, my name is Fitz Walker with the RC Roundtable podcast"? Another lost plug, Fitz?
I was busy tuning engines or something.
Strike two, Fitz. Strike two.
He can move to the area. Sorry, I'm not the salesman that you are, man. Always be closing, right? Jeez. Anyways, boring story. It was a nice time we had.
And that's why I have to go with Fitz to these places, so I can
you're
remind people who we are.
You're the one that's always updating the website. If it wasn't for you, Terry and I probably wouldn't have never updated the website for anything.
No, Terry updates it. It's you, buddy. Don't be pointing fingers
All right. Sorry, I'm not a social media guy. Whatever. Anyways, so kudos to the. Okay.
Who has more followers? So,
I know. What the hell?
He's organic, man.
And he's not willing to share them with us, is he?
It's that magnetic charm.
Every one of my videos says, listen to us at the RC Roundtable with a link. So quit your bitching. So anyways, it was a nice time. Kudos to the general having a nice event. Some neat stuff was there. A guy had a big the Lysander.
Right.
Like the same company I have the
Phoenix,
but he had the big one, the 30cc one with a nice twin engine gas engine in it.
It's like 100-inch or something.
Yeah,
110 inch.
120 something, 126, something like that. It was big mother. And so he was asking me some pointers because I had a smaller one. I was telling him this and that, and so he was telling me about it. Yeah, well, I still have it technically. So anyway, so that was my story. Not a huge thing, but nice to get out and fly around a little bit. Some good weather out in the country. Oh, yeah. Well, you saw the text, right? I sent you.
You sent to both of us?
Didn't I send you a text?
Hmm.
You didn't see it?
Were you drunk dialing? What?
Oh, hold on a second.
He's gonna go look for the next. Do I
I'm
need
gonna
to
look
grab
at
my
my phone
phone?
real quick. Right.
If it was very important, we probably would have talked about it right away.
Worst podcast ever. 3 guys text each other. Let's see, what could it be?
I don't know. Quick, Terry, what do you think? Did you see something? Because I don't see it.
I'm going back.
Your post again.
I see. Oh yeah, okay. I see it. Is that yours?
It
Oh, it
follows me home.
is. Nice.
Ah,
So
Well,
that's
this is the thing I ended up going
free
because
wing or
this is the free
FMS?
wing
Okay.
MiG 21. Gentleman was selling it. I kind of saw it in the thing. I was like, I wonder what he wants for it, just out of curiosity.
here, let me.
Wasn't too
Phil
curious.
fits with the page.
and
Point
he
it right
gave
at
you
the
a deal
camera.
you couldn't refuse.
Look at that! Wow!
So there we go. Yeah, of course, he touched up the paint with it a little bit with these green highlights.
Is that scale or just kind of made up?
I have no idea. He did it for visibility.
Yeah, I
I'll
was
have
going
to
to
look.
say. Probably
Don't
needs
think it's
it.
scale.
Yeah.
But yeah, he said it's hard to see. But he had taken the fan out of it and the speed controller and was basically just selling the airframe. And I thought, well, that's perfect because I have the fan unit I took out of my Mirage that's
Okay.
currently sitting in a drawer. So I have a drop-in fan right for it as well. So I got a nice deal on it. And I've always wanted one, actually. I know buddy Tom has one. He's flown it a few times. I always thought it was really neat looking.
Cool.
So a proud owner of a MiG 21.
Cool.
So it was a good thing I got my lazy butt out and went to the fly-in.
It has the retracts in it and all that.
Yes, full retraction servos. Everything's in it. It's ready to go. All you do is drop a receiver, speed controller, and fan in it.
How many cells?
I believe these are 6Ls. If I'm correct.
Okay.
80 millimeter.
All right, congratulations. Where does it
Oh,
fall
thank
in
you.
the priority list?
No idea. Well, everything's behind trying to finish. I can talk about that later. I've been working on a Javelin.
The
So I'm making
Javelin.
progress. The Javelin.
Right.
So there is no priorities other than a Javelin, getting that done for the most
Right.
part.
Well, going back to your talk about the Playboy, I do kind of the same thing that I guess you do. That whenever I have a 3-channel model, I plug the rudder into the aileron channel, and then I mix it so that I also have control on the left stick. So when I'm taxiing, I use the left stick, but when I'm flying, I use the right stick.
Yeah.
That's my brain is programmed that way.
And that's how I usually set it up too. I'll do that, and I've done other people's that way. Mix it that way. The brain doesn't have to be reprogrammed. But it wasn't my plane, so you
Right.
dance with the person you brought, so to speak.
What about you, Lee?
It's funny that last comment you made is something that just happened today, but I wanted to go back to the weekend. I'll come back to that though, about flying someone else's plane. Austin and I went to the field on Saturday, our club field, Northwest Houston RC. It was a work day, kind of, sort of. I'm now on the mowing crew. I'm back on the mowing crew, so I need to go do some trimming just to help out until they fill my position. But I'll tell you, there were so many people there Saturday morning. I just could not, do all the trimming that we normally do, and they didn't seem to care. So,
That's what you get from mowing on a Saturday.
well, mowing's on Friday, trimming's on Saturday. So the maintenance crew cleans up on Saturday, and they're supposed to do that first thing in the morning. But obviously, whoever else is on the work crew didn't show up because there was still a lot of weeds. But anyway, the good news is Austin came out and didn't argue at all. He grabbed a trimmer, and we did a lot of work, and it looked pretty good for the areas we did. And we both decided to do a little flying. I took the Timber X out for a couple of flights. He brought his Mavic Mini, and we were... It would have been really cool. But while we were there, this gentleman brought a turbo timber, Fitz. And I was talking to him about it. Well, he remembered Austin from a couple of months ago when we took a big photo of like 5 apprentice aircraft out at the field. I don't know if you've ever saw that photo, Fitz.
Apprentices.
Apprentice.
Oh yeah. Hit a bunch of them, right?
Yeah, we had like 5 apprentices out there. So this guy remembered Austin with his apprentice, and I said, "Oh, so you upgraded from the apprentice?" He goes, "I upgraded because I lost the apprentice." And I said, "Oh, what happened?" He goes, "It's over there." And he pointed way out there in the grass. I said, "So have you found it?" He goes, "No, we've been looking." And I whistled Austin over. Said, "Austin, this guy lost his plane in the trees. Will you go look?" Before I could finish the sentence, he went and ran to go get his Mavic Mini. He had it set up, and he hauled that thing right out. I mean, and we tried. We looked. We both had our hands on it, and guy was trying to tell us where he thought he lost it, but it had been several weeks, so it's probably green and moss all grown over it by now. But
it's returned to the earth from which it came.
But I will tell you, it was a nice little conversation with this gentleman. He's relatively new. He's flying a turbo timber now, and he was flying it great, by the way. So the apprentice was a great, beginner step for him to get into the turbo timber.
Is he off safe?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. He's flying pretty well, so it didn't look like it was. I can't say. Maybe he was flying very well. I mean, like as stable as you would an apprentice. I mean, without safe. So
okay,
doing circles and stuff. But I digress. But we were talking. He goes, that's a great reason for a drone to go find people's lost planes. I said, yeah. We were both hopeful, and we just had no luck. It's just so I don't know if you remember, Fitz, how many trees are out there.
A lot, yeah.
And we have a creek that goes from the north end all the way behind us, so there's a lot of foliage. So,
but the important thing is, did he get yelled at
or threatened?
No.
Did somebody come out and threaten to get down?
We were on a mission. We were on a search and rescue mission.
You're doing it wrong, yeah.
Hey, but you know what? I want to backtrack there because you made me laugh. But did you guys get to see the video that I published of Austin's GoPro Hero 7 footage from Space City RC?
That was good stuff.
Did you see it, Fitz?
Inside the Cub?
Yeah, that where he's chasing the Cub?
And no, he wasn't chasing. Well, he was inside the Cub for the first part, and then he was chasing my CZ Cub.
Yeah.
And then he was with his young buddies that he met there last December at the Pearl Harbor event, and they are like a group now. They all have a group chat. It's really neat because Chris Dunnan is one of the friends. He flies the big P-47. Anyway, it was neat to see him have a little pack, the guys they talked to. So
you got a posse now?
He's got a posse. But they were all very friendly about him doing all that coverage, and I thought that loop was as cool as heck, man. Do you remember that part? He was following the guy. He was following the decathlon into a loop, and he stopped, and then the decathlon did a loop around him, and he was able to watch the whole thing come around him. I mean, and that was cool. I mean, and I've had so many compliments on Austin's both the cockpit footage and the chase stuff. And I got to tell you, I love the stuff he had on my Pawnee. I didn't put everything in there. It was a very short video, but he's got some really good coverage of my Pawnee flying around. And I was like, that was so cool.
He's doing a real good job chasing the aircraft. That takes a lot of skill to do that.
Okay, I'm going to stay on my son for a bit. It's Father's Day, so I wouldn't be a father unless I had my children. So, he did that great attempt to do a search and rescue for that guy. I mean, no questions asked. Wanted to go help him out.
I'm going to ask you a question about that, but keep going.
Well, ask it now.
Well, in my experience, the resolution you're going to see on the screen or whatever in sunlight, trying to find it real time is tough. The one time that I found a plane using a drone, it happened when I got back home, uploaded the footage to my computer, and watched it in HD.
Didn't you and I do that like at a SCOBY one time?
No, I did it when I was in Lubbock.
Okay.
And had it not been for the invasion stripes on the wing of the plane that went down, I still never would have found it.
Well, he did
record.
record.
Would have found it first.
I'm glad you said that. He did record the footage, so I haven't asked him yet, and I'll lead into what we've been doing. But I'll ask him because I remember when we first started doing that at SCOBY, we were really trying to find a plane that someone else had mentioned had lost out in the trees. But going back to Austin, that was fun. The tracking, the chasing the other guys around, making a cool little video.
Which quad is he using for that?
That's that racing quad that I got from Kirk Jensen.
Oh, really? Oh,
we
that
got to
came
run
off
it.
really well.
Yeah, he modified the heck out of it, and he's still complaining there's something wrong, and he's got to have a new one. I
His
wait till he,
results would suggest otherwise.
but it looks really good. But of course, the GoPro really helps that image stabilization. And now that I shouldn't have stopped talking because I've completely forgot what the third part was going to be about Austin. But
Sorry.
I guess it'll be the 3D printing. How's that? Because now that he's got his own little 3D printer that he was gifted from a friend of mine, he's been nonstop 3D printing stuff. In fact, I'll just lead right into this. This is we have no schedule today, guys, but I'll do it. So he's been using this Monoprice 3P printer. Have you seen it, Fitz or Terry? Have you?
I've heard of them.
Okay, so it's this really small footprint 3D printer. It's probably been out for 4 or 5 years, so it's not very modern technology.
Sounds like something you'd buy at, I don't know, Kroger.
Well, you'd think that, but it's still like a $250, $300 printer. Okay. And that's the same price for a Creality, Ender 3. Right. But it's a nice little personal printer. The friend who gave it to me said he was having problems with it. Austin took to it. We changed the print head, bought new filament, took it down because some of the screws were loose and re-oiled it up. And he's now got it plugged into Octoprint with his Raspberry Pi, and he's monitoring daily. I mean, he's just doing stuff crazy. So I'm going to go full screen just to show y'all what he did. But for Father's Day, my son made me this.
Very cool. And it appears to have a pretty good surface finish on it.
Well, you don't want to see the bottom. I'm not going to show you the bottom because he printed it flat. So all the structure was difficult. But I mean,
supports for that.
Yeah, well, I think he should have done it in pieces. But you know what? I'm not going to criticize. That was on my morning breakfast plate. So I thought that was cool.
So you drew that?
Ben made a CAD file when he was trying to cut my Thunder and Lightnings on his CNC machine, and also was able to take that CAD file, import it into something else, I don't remember, and then make a G code.
Wow.
Isn't that neat? So
yeah, that's cool.
I will cherish this always. So this is on my desk there.
Now you just need a thick gold chain.
Oh, I'm going to paint that gold just for you, Terry.
Please.
Gangsta.
All right, so now I'm going to twist into today's events so I can get back to Austin. So it ties back to Austin's 3D printing. Another gift I got from my friend, his father passed away last year, and they've been cleaning out the house. And his father was a hobbyist, a model airplane hobbyist. He didn't have any of his old planes left, but you knew he was into glow planes. I have like a missile mist can and a very old Sullivan 12-volt starter that does not work. It's terrible shape. But he had a collection, and his AMA sticker, I think, was 1985. So he was into model aviation, but over the years, I guess he got rid of it, and he just had this extra plane available to me, so I'm going to pull it up right now. So I was given this plane. Anybody care to guess how you pronounce this darn thing?
Say Sky?
Well, no, it's Shunda is like the brand, but let me pull up it up here. I'm going to zoom in, but it's like Acepta Buddhist or something like that. Yeah. Okay, it's this cheap little glider.
Were they originally from Harbor Freight?
Well, I think that's where this one came from.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a Harbor Freight glider, and it was in okay shape. No servos, no electronics, just the motor was in there, and pretty dusty. And he said, "If you want this, you can have it." Well, I guess I love Fitz's face sideways. Anyway,
in his garage.
Well, I have a story to tell. So I got this plane, and it's been just sitting on my table. And this morning I said, "Well, let's go fly." But Ryan, why don't you come in here? I'm going to show you how to make this plane. Let's build this plane. Let's fix it. And I had Ryan's attention for about 5 minutes. And then I lost it. So Ryan he wanted to go see his friends. He wanted to go play video games. So he tried his hardest, but he gave in or gave up. So I let him go play. And Austin and I worked in the shop on our airplane. So let me see if I can tell this story a little faster so I don't have to bore you guys. So anyway, I worked on it. I shoved some servos in, got it working. If you look, I don't know if you see my mouse working up here, but
Yep.
the rudder is very thin. It reminds me of like the Easy Star. And on every Easy Star I've owned, I've replaced the rudder with something a lot larger. So this is 3mm foam folded over and taped to the rudder for a bigger surface area. But guys, I don't know, but I think the original plane comes with like a seven cell AAA battery pack, NiCad battery pack or something. But it must weigh a ton, because when I had my 3-cell 700 milliamp battery in this thing and my receiver and all that, I had to add half a pound of lead into this nose.
Half a pound?
Half a pound. There's 8 ounces of lead scattered about this thing to get the CG just right. And when I mean just right, I mean it's just right, because I did get to fly it. It flew right out of my hands, straight as an arrow, flew up into the sky, did several turns. I got a great video from Ryan. But then
You lose a prop?
you lose the prop. The little folding prop came right off, and I noticed because I saw something come off, and I was like, "What was that?" I'm like, "Oh, I have no power." So the good news is it's a glider, and I had no problems landing it because, guys, again, if you're new to the hobby, learn to fly a glider first because it's always dead stick. And when I landed, Austin didn't know I lost the prop. He thought I just landed. And he said, "Why'd you land?" I said, "Because I don't have a motor." and so it was a good, I'll say it was a great landing. It was right by my feet because the plane's really nice. So we went searching in the grass. We found the propeller.
Wow, that's a needle in a haystack.
It was. We were out there for a good 5 minutes or so, 5 or 10 minutes. And but here's where the story gets a lot of fun. Let me get back to the camera here because now I'm back to my son.
So this is where you got yelled at?
Hi, Jason.
No.
Cheers.
Okay. So remember I tell you my son prints things 3D nonstop? He printed me.
Nice.
He printed me a replacement nose cone. Now, it ain't pretty, but darn it, that's not cool because the rubber piece came off and it's black and we could not find it.
Oh, sure.
But I just handed this to him and said, "Well, if you can make me one, do so." And like 10 minutes later, he came back with that.
Oh, quick.
What holds it on?
Yeah. So anyway, that's a great reason to have a 3D printer, folks. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, you guys can correct me, I think this is the first time I've printed something for an RC plane using a 3D printer. And I can't even say that. Austin did it. So my son is the first one to print a 3D part for one of our planes.
Huh. So what holds the nose cone to the rest of it?
Well, and there lies the story. So the motor is a very small 400 size brush motor. I put a 3-cell battery in there. I'm only pulling 7 amps. Like, okay, it's no big deal. It's only 7 amps. I'm not hurting this thing. But when it came down, I landed, I picked up the motor. It was hot. This is a press-on shaft. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a press-on shaft. It was so hot. It just basically softened and then flew right off.
The Lee press-on propellers.
Well, I might be a little CA or something. I don't know. But unfortunately, there was no way it could have stayed on. It was pretty darn hot. And it honestly didn't need full power at all. I was just probably applying full power just to get it up there so I could fly.
Wait, you were running it on a 3-cell?
Yeah, I was running on 3-cell.
Oh, well,
Short bursts. Oh, shut up.
I'm a scientist.
But I'm telling you, with a 3-cell, I still had to add 8 ounces of lead into the nose of this thing.
Did you put a watt meter on that thing?
7 amps.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. And
It's
how
not.
big is that prop?
It's a tiny little prop. It's
Yeah, but for a Speed 400, that's pretty big.
Anywho, the problem is, it's not even a problem. It's just that I can't believe how much weight I had to put in. However, that being said, I'm glad I went with my gut feeling on the CG point because I went past the middle spar. They basically put the spar in the middle of the wing, but I went forward and it flies like a dream. Kill the throttle, it just glides. So it's actually not a bad little plane. So there you go. There's my whole little story wrapped up. So went flying Saturday. Austin got some quad time in. Flew this morning, or built a plane, flew this morning. Oh, and here's one other little plane I wanted to show you guys. Let me go back here. Does anybody remember this plane?
Yes. Is that the Typhoon?
It is. The
What do I
Park
win?
Zone Typhoon. Huh?
What do I win? That's not the original. There's like a Typhoon and then a Typhoon 2 or
This one says Typhoon 3D.
okay.
And Austin, it's brushless. And Austin flew that today. Oh, now I know where I'm going full circle back to a story Fitz was talking about. When you talked about flying someone else's plane. Fitz? It's always weird when you fly someone else's plane. The throws on this plane are insane.
Ooh,
And Austin handed me the plane to fly. I mean, you move that sucker like a 16th of an inch, and it freaking loops. It's so sensitive. I was like, oh my God, you need to expo this. He goes, well, I can fly it. I was like, oh, it's so, I mean, if you had just handed that to somebody else, you would have been like all over the place because it is so wild to fly.
Have you ever flown one of Fitz's airplanes?
You know what? I don't think I have. I don't think Fitz has ever offered me to fly his planes. Yeah. Although,
yes, I did. I offered you to fly one at Bomberville. You said no.
There's probably a reason.
It's kind of like that, at least in the Rolex.
Well, it flew well. He was very happy. The plastic covering on it is so wrinkled. I don't know if that picture does it justice. I was like, we took
It doesn't get better.
Yeah, I don't think we tried to heat it up with I used a hairdryer. I was afraid to use the heat gun. I was just melt right through it.
First generation electric arc there.
Yeah, but
whose airplane is it?
It's Austin's. He won it at a Christmas party like 3 or 4 years ago from our club. It's just been sitting in his closet. And when I was working on that yellow glider, he's like, okay, I'll go get that plane done. And oh, wow, I forgot to tell you, he was taxiing it out front. And he goes, hey, Dad, I'm going to just do a little hop when I get in the air. Well, he hopped, and then it came straight down, and the elevator servo had died. I mean, it was like whirring wildly. So he came in, replaced it with a spare, and we went back and flew.
Cool.
So he loves it. He's like so excited. So that's old school enjoyment.
Yeah.
As long as it's enjoyment.
Yeah. All right, so now it's your turn, Terry.
Oh, me? Well, I was just going to say, I noticed that Eric Haddad has joined us, and I wanted to say that I watched the video of the Ultramicro Air Camper. That thing looks really cool. Have you guys seen that?
I forgot to say, it's still in one piece. I taunted you guys.
You remember, he was making that small air camper, but he was using that expanding PLA to make it so that it would be lighter.
Yeah, the LWPLA, I believe.
Huh.
Yeah, sure. But anyway, that video is out there. Go watch it. It looks like the airplane flies really well.
Oh, cool. I'll do that. I didn't know that. Thanks for joining us, Eric. Eric was a guest on our show a few episodes back. If you haven't heard about that, go look in our archive. He talks about his 3D printed aircraft and his trials and tribulations of being in the hobby. So, great interview.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of 3D printers, someone asked me this the other day. That's the one I have on order.
Yeah, you got a Delta, huh?
Yep.
Go tall.
Going tall, going round, going. Yeah.
Why did you go with a Delta?
Why did I go Delta? I didn't want a plate that moves. For fear that's what's causing the shaking.
Oh.
Remember all those?
Be limited in width.
Yeah,
but will the Cessna parts fit on that?
Yeah, that's wider. That's much bigger. It's 280.
Yeah, it's tall. It's good for tall.
No, it's 280 wide. So the diameter is 280.
Oh, okay.
So the other one was 200, I think. So it's a much bigger printer.
Really? Only 200 for the other? That's 280 wide? That's the price.
Yeah, and it's like, what was it, 380 tall, almost 400 tall?
Yeah.
And it's not that expensive.
No.
Not at all. It's comparable to the Creality.
It's on order.
It should be faster, too, by the way.
I hope so. But, it's what I chose. I just went through YouTube, saw several videos, and said I'm going to go with it. So I'll update when it arrives probably next month.
All right.
All right. Well, for me, yeah, I guess so. So we've had gorgeous weather here. It's that season for us Northerners. And so I went flying twice this week. It was Sunday and Monday or Monday and Tuesday. I don't know. And I took that Ultramicro Citation out because I've been actually writing the review on it this week. So I wanted to log a lot of time with it. And I'm having a ball with that thing. It is fun. I've put a lot of packs through it. It's fast. It's maneuverable. And zoom. So, and actually, I took it out a little bit today. What?
You need to get another one and sandwich it together and make an X-Wing.
Okay.
No.
Have you been RGing it or hand launching it?
Well, funny you should ask. I'd been hand launching it because my usual club field is all grass, and you need pavement to ROG this plane. So this morning, as I was writing the article, I'm like, oh, I haven't taken it off the ground yet. So I ran down to the local middle school, which has a decent field, and the parking lot there is bordering that with no curbs. So I took it off from the parking lot and flew it. I only did one battery, but in that one battery, I must have done a dozen takeoffs and landings. So yeah, no drama. It takes off, it lands.
Do you have it handy?
It's behind me.
Oh.
What do you?
Show and tell.
Yeah, people have seen it.
We want to see it in your grubby hand.
Well, if you don't mind me getting up, I can grab it in about 10 seconds.
It's and I both gotten up.
With some interlude music or something. Oh, that was quick.
Do some juggling. There, give him full screen.
And then I punched him in the face. Oh, hello, Terry.
Here she is.
Terry, you're a little grainy, but
yeah, and
oh well, hopefully it'll clear up.
Nice, really shiny inlets there.
Yeah, they're chrome. See that?
Shiny and sparkly.
Yeah,
that's such a nice looking plane.
Oh, you can see I gave it a bruise today.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
That was my fault.
It's a love tap.
Right.
It's broken.
Robin's racing.
So you like it, huh? You think it's a good flying plane?
Yeah, it's fun, and it's fast, it's maneuverable, it's all the things. And it's funny because I talked originally, whatever time we talked about this airplane, that it's got the full flying elevator, and of course the hinge is in the vertical stab, and it's only that wide. So you've got some play in the roll axis here with that elevator. So when you're watching it fly, you pull it out of a turn, the elevator follows behind. It's never in sync with the wing. They're always not parallel. But I assume it's because of AS3X. It doesn't veer off one way or the other. It stays on a straight track when you're flying it. So it's just a cosmetic effect at this point. Yeah, and it never binds up or anything like that. So yeah, it's a fun flying little airplane. And with 3 cells, that was the notable feature that we found on it. It's a 3-cell 800 milliamp hour pack. That's a lot of power. It's 100 watts in a airplane that's not quite 6 or 7 ounces. I forget the number. So it's 250 watts per pound.
Nice. Nice, yeah. So anyway, for those of you listening, and thank you for coming here, Fitz has disappeared. And Terry looks grainy. Is anybody else having problems seeing me by any chance? Or is our audio off? Because
I don't see me being grainy.
I think I'm going to pull Fitz off until he comes back.
All right.
Because he's off the stream.
All right. Well, another thing I did this week, Lee, you will be happy to know, is I took plywood overcast out.
Yay!
And because I have to send that 360 camera back now, and I'm like, I can't do that without having captured some 360 footage of plywood overcast. So I drilled a hole in it. The highest point in the airframe saved the vertical stabilizer. Drilled a hole in it and put a 1/4-20 screw. I think it's 4 inches long. So the camera is elevated several inches above the airframe. And I took some 360 video of it, and it turned out really good, even without the stabilization turned on. It's nice and slow and steady, and you get a good perspective. So I need to share that with you guys. I think you'll enjoy it.
It's awesome.
Yeah. And,
for those of you,
go ahead.
I was going to say, for those people who are watching who don't know what plywood overcast is, can you explain a little bit?
Who doesn't know about plywood overcast?
Can Terry give a 30-second description of plywood overcast?
I'll give you the Cliff's Notes. I got this airplane in a trade because it looked interesting. When I got it home, it was 10 feet in span, 6 feet long, made mostly of plywood. So the bare airframe weighed 15 pounds. It had never flown, but it was perfectly built. It was a craftsman built this thing. Anyways, so Lee, I was going to get rid of it because it seemed too heavy to make any use of. Lee shamed me into making it flyable, so I invested the time. I put a couple electric motors in the nose. The flying weight turned out to be right at 20 pounds, which actually wasn't bad. So now I have a 10-foot span, 20-pound, 3-channel airplane. It's rudder, elevator, throttle.
Peer pressure.
Yeah. So it's really great on calm days. If there's any kind of crosswind or something, forget about it. It's no fun. But I had fun with it this past week. Made some really great landings with it. I was impressed.
Yay.
Anyway, yeah, should have the video together in the next couple of days. I'll throw it up on Facebook, and you can watch 360 video of this thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Are you back, Fitz?
I'm back. Of course, I missed pretty much most of what you were said.
What happened?
Okay.
Did the cable fall out or something?
Yeah, something hiccup with the Wi-Fi connection, and you got
Stepdad-
digitized and robotized, and yeah, always something.
Did
So-
your father-in-law unplug the extender or something?
I hope not. No. If it did, we would have lost it completely.
Did I tell you guys that I've been using that my new camera called the Go? I did some boat footage with it. Did I talk about that yet?
You sent me a picture while you were talking about putting it in the turret. I think you...
Right. So that was last week. But yeah, this Insta360 Go, which is a little camera about that big, but shoots really good video. 1080p, I think 30 frames per second. Really good stuff. And it fit in that front turret of my...
PT boat.
well, it's not a PT boat. It's a Vietnam era PBR, Patrol Boat River. Pro Boat Models calls it the Alpha Patrol Boat. But it's, if you've seen Apocalypse Now, that's the boat. So it fits right where the man in the turret sits for that thing. And I have one of Chris Wolf's random servo generators on the turret, so it's always going in different directions. So I put the camera in that and shot some video, and it's so small I could put it in several different places. So I've got a bunch of footage of me driving that boat around this tiny pond with the camera in different perspectives. So I need to put that together and share it too. Yeah. So that's also a camera that I'm doing a review on. It's just a loaner, but I'm enjoying that one so much, I think I'm going to buy one after I send it back. So it's really helpful. And it's 18 grams. Like just the camera itself is 18 grams. If you use a little ball joint mount, it adds another 13 grams. But it's a significantly lower weight and profile than the Run Cam 2 that I typically use on airplanes.
I could put 40 of those in the nose of this glider.
You probably could.
Take out all the lead.
Yeah. But so it opens up onboard cameras to a smaller class of airplanes. So I was using it in my Yin Yang too, and it didn't even know it was there. It's crazy. I'm thinking about putting this camera in the Citation.
Cool. What's the price of this thing?
I think the list price is $200, or maybe it's $180. I don't know. It's not cheap. They don't give them away. But I was looking at my collection of action cameras, and I looked at my GoPro Session, which I paid the same amount of money for, and ended up being kind of a dud. So I'm like, all right, I've already had this one, and I know it works. So yeah, I think I'll invest the money, and I'll get a lot of use out of it. So
What's that thing called again?
the Insta360, that's the company that makes it, and the model of the camera is the Go.
Okay.
And the only thing that I particularly there's two dislikes that I have for now. One is that it has a control interface through Wi-Fi on your phone, but it doesn't give you a preview looking through the lens. So you can't put it on whatever model and then frame it. You're kind of guessing. You shoot and then you look at your footage and you know whether or not you get the point of view you want. And also it doesn't do time-lapse photo. It'll do hyperlapse video, but it won't do just still frames at whatever intervals. And that's another feature that I like to use a lot. So hopefully a firmware update down the road will provide that.
So that thing right there is 18 grams?
Yep.
Wow.
So just over half an ounce, roughly.
2/3 of an ounce, sure.
Yeah.
What's the life, like battery life?
Not that much. Probably about 20 minutes. I don't know if it's in any of these photos. It comes with a recharge cradle. So there's another piece. I don't have it in front of me, but it's maybe the size of a small computer mouse. And that has a battery in it as well. So you charge that on your computer, and then you charge the camera on that recharge cradle. So you can take
yeah.
the cradle with you and charge it at the field. I think that takes maybe half an hour to recharge it. And
Fitz, your mic is making a lot of noise. It's rubbing up against your shirt.
and
Sorry. It was like...
great. So what was I talking about? Oh, the charging. And so, yeah, every time I've taken it out, I have to recharge it because that's an issue. It runs out quickly. But at the same time, you can only record in 5-minute segments at a time. And that's governed by the heat because the darn thing gets pretty hot. So they limit the recording time to 5 minutes. So it's not like you can record 5 minutes, stop it, and restart it right away. You have to let it cool down some before you can go. So there are limitations to this small frame, but the possibilities that it opens up really outweigh some of that. So it'll take some getting used to and how I shoot video, but yeah, I think in the end it will be a big bonus. So yeah, check it out. It's cool stuff.
I see Michael's watching us, and he needs to put one of those in his Huey.
Oh, there you go. Wait. Oh, he's talking about the boat though.
I know, but I'm telling him to put it in one of his Hueys.
Okay.
Just hot glue. Make it one of the passengers on his MASH helicopter. Just look straight up. Terry, I think Fitz, I think I'm hearing microphone noise from you.
I think so too.
I'm not doing anything.
It's just okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Don't move. Don't even breathe.
Well, how about now?
No static. Nope, a little bit of static.
Now I just pulled this plug. Anyway, anybody got any questions who are watching us online? Any stuff you want to talk about? Anything you got for Father's Day? If you're a dad,
Happy Father's Day, everybody.
Happy Father's Day. Well, we've had people wish us Happy Father's Day, but just curious if anybody else got any planes. I got this plane, but that's not bad. That's cool.
So Fitz back with us.
I had a nice breakfast, so that was good. Did your family give you anything, Terry?
Well, we celebrated yesterday because my wife was working today, but I never get RC gifts because they know better than to try to buy me anything like that. What did I get? I got a nice Amazon gift card, so that will end up being RC gifts. And take out for dinner, and my kids made me brownies, and then I had pancakes for breakfast. So I'm ahead of the game. I'm doing well.
Score. Sounds like you got a good deal.
So I think Fitz is with us again.
Steven got a case of wine.
Oh, wow.
Happy Father's Day. Now get drunk.
Yeah, if there's any left by the time Neat rolls around.
We're going to his house.
So speaking of, the last I've heard, Neat is still a go. And,
yay.
I think it starts September 17th through the 20th or 21st, however those dates fall. So I'm going to knock on wood. Hopefully that still pans out. And let's see. I haven't heard any different that the national fly-in or whatever it's called, it's going to be at the AMA headquarters. I think that's still no, not the Nats, but there's a fly-in that they were supposed to have, and that's for late July. I haven't heard that that's canceled either. So if I can get out there for that, maybe I will. And you guys, you're getting together every weekend down there in Tejas.
Almost. Well, I will tell you, I didn't tell Fitz, but we were thinking about going to Jatero, but Ryan had a baseball game, so we decided to keep it close so I could watch his game, which he did great. I'm glad to see he's back in baseball. They've done something kind of cool with a couple of teams, not being able to compete because they've lost too many kids. For those teams that are just short a few players, they've merged them. So we
Lost
actually have
kids?
Lost kids, yes, not lost, not like the Lost Boys. So. So they've been able to play, and Ryan's done really well for the last two games. So I'm glad he's getting back into it. It's good to be outside. Neat would be great to go to. We keep talking about going, Fitz, but that's up in the air. So not sure.
We will iffy this year.
I get it.
Yeah,
So,
but go ahead.
it's it's interesting because we decided that my kids are going to visit their grandparents in Florida, and we just kind of got online to check last minute airline tickets. And maybe this is not the norm, but airline tickets from Buffalo to Florida are cheap. So they were getting round trip tickets for this. Well, there's always the catch, right? This is on the budget airlines. The baseline price is like $60 or $70. Like,
Wow.
oh, you want to carry on? Well, there's a price for that. Oh, you want to pick your seat? So it ends up being a little bit.
You want a flotation device?
You want a cushion on that seat? Oh. But the starting price is very attractive, and it gets your attention. So
That's pretty good.
my kids are going to the epicenter of the second wave for about a month.
I can't.
Wow.
I am happy to say I've never been on one of those cheap airlines. I've never been on Frontier or Spirit. I can't imagine how people can take over a 2 or 3 hour flight in something like that. I've heard so many horror stories, and when Sydney had a chance to go take a cheap flight to to Cancun with her friends, I said, don't do it. And I think, in fact, like one of her friends coming back got delayed, like 6 or 8 hours coming back. So. Yeah,
but I've had that same experience on the top tier airlines.
Coming to California. Well, I was going to lead into best because we haven't said anything since the last podcast, which was I was on hold. I did get a call a few days ago that we cannot have it at Bomber Field, so that's unfortunate. I understand their reasoning. They're trying to do a lot of events. They have a limited number of volunteers who, want to work on certain days or at beat events, and just trying to schedule something in after the big B-17 event is just not doable because they have a couple other events.
Two words: flash mob.
Just everybody just shows up. That's okay. I talked to the board for my club, Northwest Houston RC. It sounds that they're all in. We have a meeting on Tuesday to hash out all the details. And if we can make sure that we can accommodate for 50 pilots, accommodate for, hopefully 50 guests to watch the event or so. I mean, we're just hoping for the best, right? And, make sure we follow some safety procedures because I don't know how other states are doing or how you're doing, but, we've got another mandatory mask situation here. We're not a business, so to speak, and it's outdoors, so I don't think that really applies. But if it starts to climb up again, it's going to lower the number of people who turn out. But hopefully, I'd like to think by this week or the end of this week, or maybe Tuesday, we'll have a firm date, which I'm hoping is October 3rd. It'll be at Northwest Houston RC. It'll be a great day. It'll be Saturday, and hope anybody who's watching us now, who hopefully are in the area, if you're up in New York, maybe not, or California, but please come down and hang out with us.
So I'm glad you said that because I forgot there is an event that's scheduled up here for next week, and I can't remember where it is right now. Holy cow. I've been there before, but it's just off I-90 here, kind of in central New York.
I know, it's in New York.
Yes, thank you. But it's the first event RC event that I'm aware of for all season. Well, they're making it a swap meet / fun fly. So an outdoor swap meet and fun fly. So it's
the cabin fever fun fly.
Basically, like you've been trapped to come out and do something. So the interesting thing is my son's high school graduation is next Saturday. So that's kind of an improvised thing to stay within the current New York guidelines for get-togethers. So it's a little bit unique. But anyway, that ceremony is going to be on Saturday. So if I'm able to go to this, it's going to be on Sunday. So I haven't mentioned that to the rest of my household yet. So we'll see how it flies. But Mark and I are talking about going out there. And so if that happens, that'll be fun. And I've got a big stash of stuff I need to sell and get rid of. So they've been slowly building over the past year, and I haven't been to any swap meets this year. So I've got merchandise I got to move.
I got your deals here, right here.
Yeah.
I got what you need. Yeah.
Fitz, I'm going to go to the comment section. Jermaine has a question that you might be able to answer. Maybe you too, Terry, because I don't use them. But do you see he's asking what's the best way to seal inkjet waterslide decals?
Oh, yeah, I've done that before. Use Krylon.
Clear?
Clear, yes, the gloss
Krylon
clear.
flat black.
No. A couple of light coats of the Krylon gloss clear will do that. Do the trick. I've made custom
gloss?
decals for.
You have to do gloss even if you want to end up with a matte or satin
Yeah,
finish?
do the gloss. Yes.
And then
put
if you want a
that over
different
it.
finish. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. If you pull them out of the inkjet, a couple of light coats of the clear gloss, let it dry, and then apply it to the model, and then you can put whatever clear over that you want, flat, semi-gloss, whatever.
Do you have to do it?
Go ahead.
Do you have to do it right away? Do you have to let the ink dry on the decals for a while before you spray?
The ink dries pretty fast, so don't do it immediately after taking it out of printer. But if you wait 10, 15 minutes, that should be fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is there any?
you got to use decal paper for inkjet printers. That's the caveat. So if you use like laser decal paper and you put it in your inkjet printer, I can't guarantee any good results doing that.
Isn't there some that's okay for both?
No, they usually make a distinction. It's either laser or inkjet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are you worried about curling if you're spraying that on there?
No, I haven't had a curl. That's why I said a couple of light coats. Don't pour it on, but a couple of light coats is just fine. Yeah. Yeah. Is it running yet? No. Okay. That actually worked pretty good. I prefer the decal paper made by the bare metal foil people, by the way. And it's got a weird name, bare metal foil, but they actually sell decal paper, and it's actually really good stuff. I've made some decals for different things. The only bad thing is you don't have printers that print in white, so you have to either use a clear or white decal or a combination of them to get what you want, depending what you're doing. But that's just a side note. So, Interesting question. Of course, you could use that on an RC airplane. I have remember those old flying styros?
Yeah.
Those had water slide. Yeah, I guess they're still around. I still have their Oscar. No, is that Hyatt? We had water slide decals. Like my first RC plane had water slide decal. I thought it was unusual.
Cool.
Anyways.
Hey, Terry, Tony's got a comment for you.
I saw that. Tony, I've got the same model. I just got the package a couple days ago. And actually, I took some photos today of the content, so I haven't started any assembly yet. But by build videos, kind of fit style, I wasn't planning to do any of that. Typically, what I would do is build the thing and take some photos along the way, and then at the end kind of summarize it, including flying footage. So I guess the answer to your question is no. But if you want to do build videos, please be my guest.
I have to add, Tony, we're probably all connected to Tony on the various Facebook pages. And is he like building a plane a day or something? Tony, what are you doing? Are you sleeping, Tony?
But he's also putting 049s on all of them.
Yeah, well, that's cool. I want to see that C-47 with the 049s. That's right up my alley. If he gets that running, I demand that I have some time on his sticks on that. But it's just funny. It's like every day he's got a different plane. Oh, there's another thing I'm building, so that's neat. Or there's another one I'm building. Wait, what are you just working on? What about the Z-47? Oh, okay. The paint's drying on that one. I'm off to something else. That was so yesterday.
So we need to have a maiden day where all the projects he's been working on for the past month all get out to the field.
If he can maiden them all in one day.
Well, see if he can bring them all to Best. He says he's coming to Best, so we'll make him buy like 8 suitcases to shove in an airplane.
He comes with a tractor. Hey, I got my planes.
Since Tony's planning on coming, I guess we better pick a date and nail down a field.
Yeah,
well, I'm hoping for October 3rd, so I'll let you know, Tony, as soon as I hear. Actually, we've got a thread on RC groups. We've had a thread on RC groups from the beginning. I've maintained like the last 2 or 3, and I've got one that's pretty much says TBD because we don't have a field or date yet. But as of this podcast, as of this video rather, we're shooting for October 3rd at Northwest Houston RC. That's not final, but that's hopeful. And I hope that if those of you who are traveling from out of town, let us know. We'll have several podcasts coming up. We'll be giving more information, and we'll try to find a hotel for some and tell you how to get in here. Best place to fly into would be Intercontinental or Bush Airport.
Intergalactic.
And then we'll send a big shuttle for you.
So I've never been to your field out there, but camping available?
It is.
Power?
It's just not that unfortunately, power is not, well, that's a long story. So maybe we save that for the podcast, or once it's firmed, I can tell you more.
Okay.
It's not Tri-County Barnstormers, unfortunately. It doesn't have all that
That's
luxury.
okay.
But it will have all the fun and happiness and joy and electric airplanes
And water. Right?
and joy and solar power.
Well, you
can do
have a
float
float pond, don't you?
We have a.
See?
It's a very low float pond, but yes, it's.
But
it's
it
kinda-
has water, and you can put floats in it, right?
Yes, it's probably about an inch deep right now.
Just a water hose. Call the fire department to unload one of their trucks.
There's a fire right in the middle of that pond.
Yeah.
Put it out.
I wonder if the fire department would do that if you asked them.
I will. We will. I'm hesitant to say too much until we're sure, 100%. So let's table
I don't
that.
want to jinx it.
Please don't. Yeah, please don't jinx it. I really want it to happen just so I can hang out with my friends again. And I know there are a lot of people I've talked to already who are hoping to have another best this year. It would just stink. 2020 would just really 2020 was what I was trying to say. Would just be a royal pain in the butt if we lost best.
Off to a bad start already, so you can end it good.
Yeah. So anyway.
So you're keeping the best name, even with the.
Yeah. Yes.
Why not?
Yeah. Your vote doesn't count, Terry. Fitz and I are good. It's going to be called best.
Yeah. Just like what was it? Small. It had rotated fields, and it has the same name. I think the Deaf Club up in Dallas had their Deaf Flying and rotated fields.
That's true.
So,
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Shut
You
up,
could
Terry.
call it Wings over Rural South Texas.
No. No.
Worst?
It'll be best.
Worst.
Did he really just?
That's a good one.
Oh, jeez. Damn it, Terry. It's
Kinda
like
like that.
you're like Randy Larson who tricked me so bad.
Oh, with the Corsair crash?
Corsair, and then he tricked me. I don't know if you were following, it's on Texas Warbird Thunder, but he posted a new Volkswagen Beetle. It was I forget the name, what they call the convertibles. There's a specific name for them. But anyway, he said he'd sold his Herbie the Love Bug Volkswagen he just finished for this spiffed out, convertible. And I was so angry because I hadn't seen the Herbie yet because he just built it, And he lied. It was some friends who brought it over to his house and he was fixing it or something. And I just got so angry. But yeah, so he's gotten me twice.
He's turned to a real instigator, hasn't he?
He is. He's an instigator, but he's a really cool guy. So if you ever get to meet,
yeah.
I mean, I think the best part is my video that I posted with the full scale airplanes coming over bomber. That's Randy on the microphone, and he got those people just cheering and screaming, and it was fun.
Yeah, he's real good on the mic. He makes a really
He's
great CD.
very good. Did you know he used to be a what do they call those ducks? Those mobile trucks that go on water. What do they call them? Duck boats? Is that right?
Yeah.
This is a duck boat.
Yeah.
So he used to be a driver for a duck boat, and he used to do the microphone. I think it was out.
Oh,
Tours?
okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Duck
So-
tours, whatever.
He knows how to handle the crowds. He does a great
Not
job.
surprised. Not surprised.
Oh, I have a question while Tony's still here, and I think I already know the answer. Are you doing 049 or electric on your 1951 wing?
We have to wait 10 seconds now.
At least.
While you're doing that, I'll answer Jermaine's question. He says, Minwax clear satin. I have no idea. You could try it. All I can say is try it on a test piece. I don't know about clear satin. Maybe just gloss. I think gloss works much better than any satin.
Wow. You mean this right here in front of me?
But Minwax, Minwax is acrylic, right?
Yeah. This is
It's probably
polyacrylic.
acrylic, so it might work okay. It's worth a
Don't
try.
some of those yellow?
So I guess I do a test piece.
I haven't had mine yellow.
Acrylic doesn't typically yellow over time, as I can recall.
Since that's water-based, I wonder if you could make the foundation for the decal. Never mind, I'm just talking down my...
I mean, you spread it over, it keeps the pigment from spreading out and kind of smushing and whatnot. Use that
I
term.
would do tests if you can get both.
Yeah, just test it. One way to find out.
So
For science.
This is the Rust-Oleum clear
Yeah.
gloss. Would you try that, or would you trust the Krylon?
I would stick to the acrylic. I don't think the Rust-Oleum is acrylic, but again, give it a shot. Although I had some issues, I was using on my A10. I think I used some of the Rust-Oleum, and it caused some of the decals not to kind of curl a little bit. I noticed, and something else. I tend to prefer the acrylics. I think it made some slight discoloration.
So Stephen Wattenberg is suggesting FoamTac Hobby Coat. So
Yeah,
there's that as well.
yeah. There's probably different ways to do it, different solutions. I just know I tried the Krylon, and that worked really well. So I didn't. If it wasn't broken, I didn't try to fix it with something else.
This episode brought to you by Krylon.
Checks in the mail.
And Rust-Oleum.
It looks like we got an answer from Tony.
Did he?
Yeah, 049. That's what I figured.
All right.
All right,
Okay.
that'll be an
50.
interesting contrast.
We got a trolling. Glenn is trolling us in the comments as well. Okay.
Well, if he puts a .050,
yeah.
they had to one up the 049.
Yeah, I think Cox made a 050 or RC1.
Yeah. How can you tell the difference between an 04? I think if you put another washer under the glow head,
They probably get a little more RPM out of it. Yeah. Instead of going ee, it goes ee.
oh boy,
That reminds me, I have still not run this one.
super close up.
That. Oh yeah.
It's got the little muffler.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
This is for my U control. It's right there. So gotta get that done too. I'm so behind.
Crank some up. I need to order some parts for my 020 I got. 010. 010.
Oh, Terry, this is for you, but happy to share this. So I had sent y'all photos of the glue test I've been doing to find out what it sticks to this foam that I wrapped the EDF unit for the.
That's EVA foam, soft squishy stuff.
Okay, yes, it's soft squishy. So I've already got it. I'm not gonna pull it out. So I've got the motor wrapped. I've got it sitting in there, but I'm trying to figure out the best adhesive to put on that so that it holds well and all that stuff, and it sticks to this well. I did some tests. And I forgot to tell you this last one, but so I was trying Gorilla Glue, a DAP caulk that had silicone in it, and liquid nails. And the Gorilla Glue adhesive is the clear winner. But then I grabbed Austin's hot glue gun and put it on this stuff, and man, it won because it grabbed this foam.
Oh, there's no working time. You're going to have to use that in a confined space.
That's the loss. So, but because remember, I'm sandwiching it between two halves, I could just do the bottom layer and push it down and hold it, and it'll stay. So I could mount it so to make sure it's level first, and then use the Gorilla Glue on top to complete the seal. But I digress. For Father's Day, I got gosh darn it, what's this stuff called? Flex Seal. But it's the Flex Paste thing. So I'm doing another test now with the Flex Sealant. I'm sure you've seen the commercial. So unfortunately, it's kind of like the liquid nails. It's a little drier though. So it's still soft. It's a little wet. But the thin piece is already dry. So I'll wait till tomorrow and then I'll pull them up and see how well they adhere. So I might have something between the liquid nails and the Gorilla Glue.
Don't take this the wrong way, Lee, but maybe you're overthinking this. Put the fan in the airplane. Go fly it.
Well, I was going to use hot glue, and then you poo-pooed that idea. It's like, well, your working time's slow.
Well, the whole goal was to get this thing aligned correctly.
Yeah.
And you're trying to shove it in before the glue cools.
But as wet as the liquid nails was, gosh, I wonder how anybody can make anything stick with that.
But I would be more worried about the beaded foam on this is going in the Kyosho T33, which is just regular styrofoam, the beaded stuff. So I don't think that's very temperature tolerant. It might not be able to withstand hot glue.
It may not. I'm still probably gonna do Gorilla Glue.
Have you thought about FoamTac?
No.
Because I've used that on the EVA foam, and it seems to work pretty well. So
I will. Did you tell me that? Did you
It
say
doesn't
foam
say-
tack
no,
when I called you all those times to get the name of the foam and so forth and wrapping it all those times I was working on it? Did you say foam tack?
I was just so happy you called me to talk. I couldn't contain myself.
Great. So now I got to do another test with foam tack. I will release my results online and
All
to everybody's
in the name of
education.
science.
If sandability is one of your criteria, then you can scratch foam tack.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think the Gorilla Glue will be used to keep the fan unit in and give me, like you said, enough working time. Although it is faster than the other, and then I'll probably do a gosh darn it, what's the Gorilla Glue that's water based? Shoot, what's this darn stuff? The white stuff.
I don't know. Chimpanzee glue?
It's still Gorilla Glue, but this is the
Polyurethane glue,
yeah, the polyurethane. Thank you. That
foaming stuff. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Golly, couldn't get it out of my head. And this is the clear, this is the white. So I probably should say this in case people are trying to be educated. These are those polyurethane glues. And this one right here, I guess, this is the one I use a lot, the white. I like this stuff. I've used it on my Thunder and Lightnings, so this is good. The clear, to me, doesn't hold as well. I don't know if you guys have ever tried it.
No.
So this is not a fan favorite. The white one is, and it actually does sand pretty well. You could also put a little other kind of filler in, but this is really good and strong.
I've used the regular stuff. It makes really good glue for sheeting foam wings.
Oh, okay.
So
The expansion doesn't create problems?
This is a trick you do is you put a little bit. Say if you got a sheet, like this, I just put you put a little bit like in the middle, and you take like a credit card or a business card, and you spread it out really thin.
Do you have to actually thin the glue to do that, or is it low enough viscosity?
No, I didn't thin it. No, the trick I use, somebody had said this was interesting, is you just spread it really thin, layer on it, and then you take what was it? And it's gone. A bottle of water, a spray bottle, like a Windex water sprayer. Just mist a little bit of water on it, and then lay it all up. Put the weight on it, and since you put on such a thin layer, it doesn't expand much, but it makes a really good bond.
And that's what I would do with my Thunder and Lightnings. I would do the same thing. I would put it real thin, spray the other side, sandwich it together, and it wouldn't bulge.
Yeah, it's never delaminated the stuff I did.
So I'm going to show people the glues I've been testing and like the pros and cons. So this
the Glue King.
Well, this is a fast dry latex plus silicone. And I've been trying to find stuff that's adhesive, but it can be sandable. I've been using this for fillets. So on wing fillets, this is great for model rockets too. So because this paints well and it sands well, but it's not a true adhesive, but it really does the job to fill stuff. Then this is what Ryan gave me, the Flex Glue. Okay, so this stuff is actually drying faster, and it does seem to be more like silicone. So it is what it is. Then you have real silicone.
That's heavy stuff.
But it is. Now this is what I'm tending to like, because this is a Gorilla Glue adhesive. It does dry pretty darn fast, and it did hold the foam better than the other two. So better than the DAP. And then this is a complete failure. I don't get it. This is so liquidy, and it just took forever to dry. And the only time it dried very well is if I spread it really thin. So maybe like on a laminate type, like a piece of wood or something like that, this might be good. But I had two pieces of foam stuck together, and after 24 hours, I was able to pull it apart, and they were still wet. So I don't recommend the liquid glue. So my failure will help you, Terry, in the future, so you don't pick this up. Pick up this stuff and give it a try. There you go. So that's my glue stuff.
All right.
And then now I'm going to try foam tack, and it'll be the best. And I'm going to punch you in the face for not telling me sooner.
All right. I guess I'm happy you're 2,000 miles away.
All right. So now that I've said all that glue stuff, has anybody else picked a glue or found a glue that they find better? Just in general, besides CA, not that kind of glue. I'm talking about a thicker adhesive.
No, I used to be a big fan of that Gorilla Glue polyurethane, but I've since shied away from it because the shelf life is so horrible. It seems like I buy a bottle, I use it once, and then if it sits for any amount of time, when I go to use again, it's all dried up.
You know what?
Yeah.
While we're doing a live show, let's find out how old Lee's is.
And I even keep it in Ziplocs because it's obviously activated by water, so high humidity can cause it to dry in the bottle. I used to keep it in a sealed Ziploc. I used to do everything I could, but the shelf life is just crushed.
What? I can't see.
Well, it's not moving.
Oh,
No,
okay. It's also-
Oh, and now it is. It's slowly falling down. So
Yeah.
let's
Actually,
try
I had to thaw out an unopened bottle a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
'cause
Now
I want to use it.
the clear is moving. I don't know if you can see that in there, but the clear is moving. But I am agreeing with you completely, Terry. This stuff does, once you open it, it's kind of like foam tack too, though.
Well, they now sell foam tack in those little single-use pouches.
That is
Just
great.
for that reason.
Yeah, that is awesome. Do
Nice.
you have any handy, Terry, to show?
No, I don't have any here.
I may have one or two up there. So, but yeah, I'm going to open this up because I think you're right. I think this one's, and I tend to go to the store and just every time I see a bottle, I just buy one because I'm.
So
But
every
you're laughing-
repair cost you $7.
Oh my God! You can just hear it crink.
Yeah,
Cri-
it's
yeah.
crunchy.
Yeah, it's not coming out. That's the. So yeah, thank you, Terry, for reminding me. I need to go buy another bottle.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. So, but this, I do like this stuff. So, guys, take a. Now that's a full bottle. That's good stuff that Terry Fitz is showing. But it's not the little packs.
So you guys are gonna massacre me here, but you guys, I love foam tack. I use it all the time. I've got a bottle just like Fitz does right here hanging above me. But Bob Smith Adhesives makes an equivalent of that. And in normal form, it's thinner than foam tack. So I assume it has more solvent in it. And so it has a better shelf life as well. So the trade-off is that it takes longer to dry and to cure and do all those magical things that foam tack does. But the benefit is that it doesn't dry up on you in the bottle.
Well,
Is that yeah, you've got it right there, Fitz. Is that the stuff? Yeah. And I've been using that, and got to tell you, I like it. And yeah, Buck just said Yoo-hoo pour. I've got some of that too, and that works well.
Yeah, I think Yoo-hoo pour is kind of hard to get in the States sometimes.
The last time I ordered it, I had to order it on Amazon, and it wasn't cheap.
Yeah.
But none of this glue is really
Didn't I
cheap.
give you some? I thought I brought some back from Germany. I gave some to you and Lee.
I have it right here.
Maybe
Yeah.
you did.
Yeah.
And it was, that sounds right.
Yeah, because that's it. Yeah, because I was in a hobby store or whatever in Germany. It's like, Yoo-hoo pour. So I bought like 6 of them.
Right?
He's sniffing them on the plane. So yeah, I haven't opened this, Fitz.
I actually fixed my wife's shoes a couple times with that stuff.
So, Fitz, do you remember where you got that bottle of the Bob Smith stuff?
Yes, because it says right on it.
Oh, okay.
I got it from Samano's Hobbies.
Okay, because
Local
I
hobby
couldn't
store.
remember where I got mine, and I was thinking maybe it was a pilot giveaway at eFest, which was
Alaska Luber.
2016. So yeah, Tony's got the same stuff.
All right, well, I got to try that.
Yeah, and what's interesting is I've used this. I can see that I've opened it, but it's still good. It's still flowing.
Yeah, so that's my point. It works a lot like foam tack, but it just has a better shelf life.
Yeah.
This is my backup bottle, Terry. Remember I told you I'd buy another bottle? So I found this bottle in the back that I put a date on. So this one's moving because it hadn't been opened. So yeah. So I do, I'll have to try that other Bob Smith stuff because I'm out of foam tack, I guess, unless my son took it. And I find a lot of my tools and parts missing lately.
I'm not trying to sway anybody from foam tack because it definitely has benefits in the thicker viscosity. But yeah, like you guys, I have trouble that once I open it, the shelf life is pretty quick.
This is a new unopened package, and it's already. It's.
Oh,
not
really?
moving.
I should check
Yeah.
mine. It's reachable here.
It's not moving at all.
Uh-oh. Okay, mine moves a little bit.
Yeah, mine's not
I
moving
found
at all.
mine's okay. So now, Terry, I found this. I guess I got this at the expo. I think I picked up a bottle at the expo. So
Okay.
this is in one of those metal wrappers.
They've got the tiny ones like that, like the single-use CA stuff that you buy at the dollar store. They've got foam tack in those sizes.
Okay, the good
that
news
would
is
be
it's coming
bonus.
out.
Okay.
This came out
Mine
just
is it is moving, but it's extremely slow.
Yeah. So they would probably be very hesitant to reveal the secret, but if we knew what the solvent was in foam tack, we could probably extend the shelf life by periodically adding some.
Yeah.
Is this going to be a 2-hour show? Because now we're going to go into the second hour is all adhesives. Because I'm looking around my table right now. I've got about 20 adhesives lying around. We could go through this like.
Well, a show would suggest that people are watching it.
We got 12 people, 14. We had 26 people watching.
Well, I know, but I think we're going to run them off with all of our
Up in
glue
the
to-
world.
Oh, they probably wouldn't. Okay, guys, raise your hand if you want to watch about adhesives. Now we have to wait 15 seconds for all the answers to show up. So yes, I do have this foam tack. I have this little container here. This is good. I'm going to go ahead and continue this part. So I've got an uncure. I've got thin. I've got medium. This is a Shimano's, but it's an open. I probably got these little zap things that I got. Oh, that's your favorite right there.
all you need.
Plus, I picked up. Shall I? Well, I don't know. Can I talk about the adhesives I bought in the mail, Terry? Are you okay if I talk about it?
Oh, yeah.
Stand by while I grab my box.
Stand by for action.
Hey, I blame Fitz.
Uh-oh.
I blame
didn't do it.
Fitz for
Nobody's gonna
this.
do it. You can't prove anything.
Hey,
They
Fitz.
actually wrote an article about RC Glues a few years back.
Oh, you got your ProBond stuff.
Boy, did he.
Did I?
Oh man, get
So
the party pack.
So Fitz was doing a live show, again, plugging Fitz and HobbyView. Fitz was doing a live show, and he uses Starbond glue. And I've seen him use it at the field and at Best, and he likes this little aerosol spray. And I was chiming in with some people who were watching your show, and a lot of guys swear on this versus the pump.
How big are those bottles? Those things are huge.
Is this 1 ounce? 2 ounces. 2 ounces.
Okay.
So I've got, the medium thick. I don't know. Are these foam safe?
I think they make a foam safe flavor.
No, not. Well, it depends on the foam, of course.
I don't think any of the ones I got. Every time I was looking, I didn't see anything that said it was foam safe. But I meant to buy this for the Mamba. So anyway, so I got this little pack that they offered. It was like $39. So
Like all little goodies they give you with each bottle.
yeah, that's another thing you mentioned. All the tips and so forth.
Yeah, they give a lot of little goodies.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm watching people comment now. Yay. Welders
I don't know
glue.
what that is. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that.
Oh, at least he didn't say Elmer's. Welders. Oh, Welders wood glue. Welders wood glue. Yeah. So Starbond is a favorite of Chris Click Right Wing. So I'm gonna give it a try. I've been using whatever I just showed you guys. The typical.
Is that made in Japan? It's a Japanese company, right?
Starbond.
I thought
That I
so.
know of. I don't know. I don't think so. It comes out of California, unless they get it from Japan originally.
It says made in USA.
Oh, even better.
America. Yeah, I really like the aerosol accelerator.
You don't find that
run
you
out of
waste
it.
it?
What's that?
You don't waste the accelerator?
No, it's just a little quick squirt.
So one of
A little
the
dab will do.
one of the best tips I ever got was you can buy those needle applicators. I can go get one for you, but you know what I'm talking about. It's a squeeze bottle with a needle, the thing.
Oh yeah, I got some of those.
Yeah. Like that.
Take your glue intravenously.
Yeah. But you can pour refill accelerator into that, and you can apply literally one drop of accelerator to exactly the spot you want instead of blasting it all over the
Yeah,
area.
that's not a bad idea. Yeah.
The only problem is you got to make sure you put the lid back on because that stuff evaporates like crazy if it's exposed.
You know what else accelerates CA glue?
There used to be a bug spray that had whatever active chemical exists. I'm saying used to be. Why don't you
Baking
spill the
soda.
beans?
Baking soda. Yes, Lee got it.
My dad and I
Baking
used to
soda.
do fillets all the time with baking soda.
Yeah, baking soda is nice because it adds, like you said, it kind of fills in. It allows you to sand it, kind of fills in the gap. So I do that a lot in plastic models. We'll have I use CA and baking soda.
Unfortunately, we had this talk, and I've always it's like it's like painting. I always have a problem with painting, but every time I've tried to do cap strips, they never come out smooth, and I always have this little tiny gap in one. And I will CA it and put baking soda in it just to finish it off.
But it doesn't matter. The sanding bar is going to knock into it anyway and crack it.
Yeah,
That's what happens with me.
Thank you, Mr. Happy.
I mean, cap strips look great, don't they? If you do it right. I mean, and when you see someone else do a great job with cap strips, you're like, it's impressive looking.
They're a good idea, but ew, they torment me.
You mean like this?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did it. This is your second live show of the day, Fitz.
Yes, I had another live show.
Oh, let me put you full screen. If I can find my mouse, I think my mouse died. It looks like my mouse is dead. Sorry.
Almost died. Well, here it is. I guess you can see. Ah, there you go. So this is the Javelin Wing. It's got all cap strips everywhere on all the wing ribs, along with lots of holes cut out for stuff. And so, unlike certain people, I spend the time to make a nice flush fit with my cap strips, cut them oversized and carefully sand them. So no filler needed. Although I see one here I need to sand a little better.
You're my best friend.
So yeah, the wing. Wing is basically ready to cover. Although I did see some minor sanding I got to do. So I guess you saw the fuselage. That's not gonna go anywhere. Let's see. It's over here. So you saw me do the covering video. So it went from going from that to that.
Right. So the interesting part is that you've got a seam in the covering that spans a cutout in the wood.
Yes, because if you look on the other side, the seam goes right across these cutouts. And so I knew that's going to be kind of an issue. If I try to cover, say, this all white and then put the blue on it, I was in grave danger of getting a bunch of bubbles and gaps and stuff. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't feel that my skills were good enough to do that kind of stuff. So what I did was, you saw on the live stream I did earlier today, I cut out the white and the blue first, put it on a flat surface, a non-stick surface, and just I really just, merged the two coverings together before I applied it to the aircraft. So I had made sure I had a nice straight line. I marked it on the fuselage, and then I put it over. So now it has covers over the open areas very nicely. It worked out really well. So I was kind of nervous a little bit about doing this because I don't think I've done that before, but I knew it was a technique I'd seen before somewhere. And it looks like it came out pretty good. That was a nice straight line, nice demarcation. So I just need to do the other side and do the wings.
Cool.
It's nice to finally get to start covering this thing.
Now, one technique that I've heard about but never used is that you can activate the adhesive on there with acetone. So you could join the two pieces without heat.
Oh, yeah.
And then you treat it like one two-color piece after that.
Didn't they sell that in bottles?
Yeah, they used to sell it as, I forget what they call it, but yeah, a liquid that would seal. Yeah. But I've heard that acetone does the same thing.
So acetone, okay.
That's what I've heard. So that would be worth trying.
And it doesn't mar the surface, I guess?
That's what I've heard.
Interesting, acetone. Do I have acetone?
Be an easy trick. I've got some here I could try.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Okay, because I knew they made a stuff in a bottle. I didn't know it was acetone, but for covering it for trim, so you don't have to heat anything up. That's a good idea. But this using heat worked okay. I was just careful about doing it, and I don't see any warpage or the line's nice and straight. So,
right. So I've heard that's also a method for adding graphics, like lettering or whatever, without heat, so you don't get the bubbles that you have to iron out and poke holes and all that. So you can squeegee it out.
I definitely would try it for that, for adding letters and stuff. If they're made out of monocoat or whatever.
Yeah, so we should try that.
Yeah. So I'm finally starting to cover this thing. So hopefully the end is near. Hopefully, of course, it's probably gonna take me a week to cover it.
Yeah. Call me when you're ready for photos and video.
All right, thank you. Yeah. Get it done. Get the covering. Yeah, and get it all wired up. It's been a nice kit to build. A couple little minor hiccups on it, but nothing major. You saw that? Did you see the? Did I send you a text or was it on my Instagram?
The landing gear.
The landing gear.
Oh, that you goofed up.
I goofed up majorly on the landing gear. I had to whip out the hacksaw and cut pieces off of it. Really, yeah, it was nasty. I don't know how I did it, but I basically built it upside down the wrong way. And I guess I didn't pay attention. It must have been one of those late nights where I wasn't paying attention in a rush and not paying attention to the instructions close enough. And I was like, I was putting it together. I was like, wait, how does this work? This is not supposed to work like this. Why is this open? I look at the instructions like, oh, damn it.
We need to update our bingo or to have an upside down gear option.
Well, this was sort of nuanced to this kit, the way the box, there's a landing gear box that fits into the, do I have the gear? Hold on a second. I'll get the gear right here.
You fixed it up.
Yeah, it fits it up. Okay, so there's a box here that holds the landing gear, and it's modular, so you can basically
switch you back live. Here we go.
Okay, so there's a slot in the bottom of the wing, and this kind of just fits right in there.
But you had it inverted.
Well, not the gear. I had the box inverted. So you see how this is nice and flat with the landing gear. So what I had done is built it, and you see this is open here.
Right.
Well, I had mounted this gear the other way around, so this was now the bottom, and this was the top. And I had put these, well, it was more than that because you got these blocks here, right? And I glued these blocks onto the top, and this whole bottom piece was open.
You couldn't just sheet it?
No, it was more complicated than that. It was because also, you needed, well,
darn it, I could have done that.
For those of you who stayed for an hour and 36 minutes, this is the part we were looking for.
That's not important right now.
Fitz commits suicide live.
He might say another bad word.
Bloody hell.
I have to ask. I'm changing topics. For those of you guys who are tuning in, and thank you for watching our mayhem. I kind of enjoyed talking about the glues and stuff and adhesives. Is there another topic of tools or products that we can get into to just banter about? I think that'd be fun. I wanted to see if there's anybody who wants to throw us a topic, and then I'm sure we'll find something to talk about. We always rant and rave, but.
Right. I don't want to get into it now, but I'll throw a topic out there.
Come on.
Allen wrenches. Do you have an organized set or a bucket full of randos?
I'm looking at a bucket right there.
Yeah, I came up with a method a few years ago where I had a chart and I measured my Allen wrenches with a caliper, and each size got its own color. So at least I wasn't, as I pick one to try, at least I wasn't trying the same incorrect Allen wrench every time.
But we call it the bucket of Allen wrenches, so we know what we're talking about.
Yeah. So, but now I actually have one of the Dubro sets of ball drivers.
Ooh, sweet.
But it doesn't cover every size. There's like 5 in the set, and there's 100 different. I've got the standard and the metric, so that covers most of the time. And then you have fits, you've got that. But most of what we use is tiny. So yeah, those are great. But how often do those apply to RC? Almost never.
Oh, well, I have a 1.5 millimeter right here. So I think the 1/16th.
So look at you. You actually have a nice little stand. But do you bring that to the field?
No. But I have small sets like these that I bring to the field.
I was gonna say, but this goes to the field. Just put a top on it, and I'm done.
It's the box.
And by the way, Fitz, I'm pretty sure you've used that box.
I'm pretty sure I have. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I make fun of the stuff you bring to the field right before I ask you to borrow it.
You do. It's funny you say that, Terry, because last year everybody was still digging me for all I brought, but I think I was up to 5 items people borrowed before Saturday afternoon, and I was like, yep, I did my job. So I'm looking at the email, and I think this is a great question. Chad is asking, what is the covering called that looks like silk span but goes on like monocoat? Can it be reheated and stuck back down? And I need to ask that question because we have a plane that was donated to us. It's beat up, but it's got that silk span type covering.
There's a few of those.
Oh yeah,
Just
there's
fabric iron-ons. Yeah, there's a few.
There's
of
fabric, no, but there's stuff that actually looks a little bit more like silk span. What was it called? I think it used balsa right to be put on. It didn't have an adhesive built into it. You had
Did
to
not?
paint. It did not. So you had to paint on your own adhesive onto the
so
wood.
It's really like silk span then.
It was very much like silk, but it was stronger than silk span. It had sort of a plastic backing to it, but I can't remember what it was called. And it was a real pain to work with. Oh, I have some on this plane. What was it called? Hold on a second.
Well, Horizon sells an iron-on fabric, pre-finished. I don't remember what it's called.
Tony just said polyspan.
Polyspan. Yeah, that is still available, I think.
Oh, look at this thing.
Maybe not.
Wow. What the heck? I've never seen that, Fitz.
Get my earphones on again. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I remember that.
I don't think I've ever
Remember
seen that.
this. So this says that stuff. I don't know how well you can see it. the
Oh, let me
texture.
pull. Hold on. This is like Fitz hour again. Let me give him the full screen.
So this stuff, it can shrink. It doesn't shrink as much as like monocoat, but it does. You can see it's kind of wrinkly now. But it is a technically an iron-on covering, but it doesn't have its own adhesive. I had to use some special stuff on the framework as
Balsa
adhesive.
lock?
That's balsa lock or something like that. Balsa right. And then
I have balsa right.
That's heat activated, but the texture is very much like silk span. I don't know if you can. Sorry, it's really dusty. Maybe the bottom is not so dusty. So you can see in the light, the reflection. It's got a semi, not quite fabric, but it looks a lot like what silk span would look like if you finished it up as normal. Maybe slightly shinier, but the texture is very similar. And I did that because it's an old timer plane. I wanted to have that look. And for the life of me, I can't remember what it's called. I wish I could remember the name of the stuff.
Also, right, is what Tony said. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the stuff.
Yeah. So this was what's this thing called? Man, I forgot what. You can see it's got a gull wing polyhedral. I flew it at Small Steps a couple of years ago. It's one of those neat planes. It's got a lifting tail, so it does best in the glide. But it's a neat little plane kind of to poke around with, fly at low power. It's bugging me. I can't remember the name of the stuff. If I only use it once, it's probably why I don't remember the name, because I used it once and like this was really kind of a pain.
Do you remember where you bought it?
I ordered it online somewhere. I might have gotten it from Mountain Models or something like that at the time. But this was a neat plane in that I had to vacuum form the nose. Since it was a scratch build, I found the plans somewhere, and I just scratch built it from AutoZone. We had at one point we were having old timer events at our field, and it's got a little magnet hatch that opens up. Hope I don't break it here. To put the battery in, which may still be in there.
Fitz, is that solar film?
That might be it. Solar film. That sounds familiar. I bet that is what it is, actually.
Yeah. Now I went to Mountain Models website and it says it's self-adhesive, so it comes with adhesive.
Maybe it wasn't solar film then. Maybe it was something else.
Oh, well, this calls it aerofilm. It says it's the same as solar film.
Maybe the aerofilm has adhesive, but the solar film, this definitely did not have adhesive, if I remember correctly. So it might have been the new, whatever they have now has adhesive, but this did not.
Yeah. What's the name of that airplane?
I don't remember.
I remember when you built it.
Name. Yeah. I built it pretty quickly. And what was the name of this thing? I honestly forgot. Anybody in chat knows, let me know, but I forgot what the name of this thing.
You didn't do an article about it, did you?
No.
It's not a Pharaoh, is it?
No. I had to check my old emails. No. What was it called? I don't remember. I built
The
it so
first
long ago.
person to name Fitz's plane.
This plane, yes.
That's going to be
You
our
name the
contest.
plane, you get a sticker.
There we go.
Because I honestly don't remember what it's called either. I just saw, I was poking around, I think, on an AutoZone. I said, this looks really neat. I want to build one of these. And I actually forgot the name of it. So if anybody knows, let us know. Maybe we'll give you a sticker or something. It's missing the windshield. But anyways, yeah, it's kind of a hangar queen now, but it is ready to fly. Oh, no, I think I got it. did I fix the servo? I did. I brought it to small. I had a little story. I brought it to small steps. I'm about to fly it, and I hear, I'm like, what the hell is that? And the elevator servo had cracked, or just by sitting in the heat, it just naturally just broke. Cheap servos. So I had to do a quick fuel replacement to fix the servo, and ended up flying it a bunch of times. And I had to change the prop. I had a bigger prop and these little springy landing gear. I'd land and I knocked the motor mount off the motor off the mount because these little springy wheels and the long prop. So I had to back off on that. But anyways, it was a fun project. I had a good time building it and playing with the vacuum forming machine, that kind of stuff. So when you said that covering, you reminded me of this is exactly what I used, but never again.
So is that the stuff you were talking about, Terry, for putting on monocoat over?
Yes, trim solvent.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never used it for the purpose you guys were talking about. I've always used it to wipe off the edges when I monocoat and like roll over and I get glue or something. I just use this to clean off my monocoat. I've never even tried it to put layers, or designs on, even though that's what the instructions say. Yeah. I use it for something totally different.
You did not follow instructions.
What it's made of?
It doesn't say. It does. Contains, and I'm going to screw this up like Fitz says names. Cyclohexanone, naphtha, and gamma-bitrol acetone. But it says, cut the desired trim shape for top flight monocoat or other heat-activated film. Using a cloth dampened with trim solvent, clean the area. Brush a thin coat of trim solvent over the surface where the trim is to be applied. Remove the backing and carefully place the trim adhesive down over the solvent-covered surface. Working from ends, squeeze it out with a soft cloth. Wipe, smooth out the trim. Let it dry for 24 hours.
Okay.
Or if you're like me, use it to clean off the mess you made when you're rolling over the wingtips. But I've had this. I don't know how old this is. It says 1992. This must have been my dad's.
Gosh, I would have thought it'd evaporate by now.
Yeah, well, I keep it closed up and in this thing, but 1992, guys.
Oh.
And look, it's almost full, but I just use it to clean off the little gunk and then... How much is this worth now, guys? $50. Anybody? Anyway, well, that was a fun session, guys. I enjoyed that. I know it seemed like we got a little late start to the fun with the glue stuff and all that jazz, but I hope people who stuck around enjoyed it.
I'm going to win a sticker. Swami.
Is it Swami? That's it, yes.
Thank you.
Yes,
just send me your address, Terry, and I'll send you a RC Roundtable sticker.
Stay on the line.
So have you come up with the
thing about the thing for the stuff?
That thing. No?
No.
Okay.
I've been thinking about the thing for the stuff. I wonder if we should poll our audience.
Like,
not now. We would have to think about it, but I guess we can say we're considering a giveaway / contest.
How about during the next live show, and we announce it on the broadcast, the announcement, like the heads up post,
right,
that we say on the live show we're going to pick a viewer for the prize.
Okay. We'll have to have some small print in there.
So for those of you who are tuned in right now, tune in for the next show because we will have a giveaway. How's that?
Well, we'll probably have to announce it more than 12 hours before the show.
I agree. So next week we'll announce that the next week we'll announce the live show.
Yeah.
The next live show, the next week we'll have the next prize.
There's a giveaway. Do we want? Hey, let's just give the people who are still on this. Those of you who stuck around this long, you get the inside scoop of the giveaway. How about that?
There you go.
Is that good, Terry?
Your reward for sticking around.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So I have it right here too. Oh, I dropped something. Who cares?
That's the one we give away.
All right. So those of you who stayed on the show, Starbond sent me 2 of these. Okay? I have
what?
They sent 2 of these packages. I talked to their staff. The first package was lost in the mail, so they sent me another one. And then they both showed up on the same day. Like the other one was 2 weeks later. So I called them and I said, we would love to offer this to one of our listeners. And they were all in. They said, that sounds like a great idea. Because they were just going to give it to me because they didn't want to do all the shipping and stuff. So their loss is your gain. So
So
anyway,
we do all the shipping and stuff.
we will ship it to you. So at the next live show, we will find a way for who's watching the show. We'll probably go through the entire list to give this away. So you'll want to stay tuned so you can be on the free giveaway. This is a $40 value plus tax. $45.
That's a lot of glue, man. That would last me a year at least.
I know 6 ounces of glue and what is this? 6 ounces of glue and 6 ounces of kicker.
Those are what, 3 viscosities of normal CA?
Yep.
I've gone through quite a bit building the beaver and the
Yeah.
Javelin. I actually went through that. Beaver sucked up a lot of glue.
So there you go. I will ship this to the winner.
Oh, fantastic!
How's that?
See,
Yeah,
Aren't
so
you glad you stayed in, Tony?
We just need to come up with a contest to figure out how to choose.
Yeah. I think there's a way you can find out who watched your show to generate a list.
maybe
Yeah, it could be.
whoever sends us the most money gets the prize.
$38 here, folks. Save you $2. We'll figure something out. But I'm glad we were able to work with Starbond. I haven't used the product yet, so
Right, careful.
Fitz has, so I think that's a good tell.
It's glue, it sticks.
That's great marketing right there. But I will say, yeah, the other people that I was talking to during your video highly recommended it. So I'm looking forward to giving it a try.
Yeah. So unofficially, I think this is our longest show ever.
I think so.
Almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
I'm surprised everybody sat through it.
Yeah, I'm surprised I sat through it.
Let's waste time for another 10 minutes, make it even 2 hours.
No,
Okay.
no.
Oh, come on.
So I see that was it Steven asked about crimpers? Yeah, at first he said crispers. Darn it, spell check. I was like, well, I don't know. I guess we could. My wife's got a nice little crisper.
somebody
But
getting hungry?
crimpers. Yeah. So we could talk about crimpers. I've got actually a new pair that I got. Was it this year?
Can I ask what kind of crimpers? Do you think he knows what he means?
Like servo.
I'm thinking servo crimper.
Oh,
That's good.
yeah.
I would love to talk about that because I bought a set at a swap meet. I don't know how to use them. I got the West Mountain Radio set.
I spent $40 on these.
Okay.
Heavy duty.
Good.
Now-
Teach me how to use it.
All right. It's not fun, but when it works well.
Yeah, I have a set somewhere.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, this is-
it can be a little fiddly to get it processed down.
This was what I used to use.
For servo connections?
Yeah, it's got right there. Right there.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah,
Oh.
things there.
And
yeah.
I've used this for many years. But after that whole debate that we talked about, we'll have that discussion.
Yeah. Save it.
I picked these up and they work really well. But they are, it's one of those you probably need a lot of practice. And then we'll talk about it later.
Yeah. I do the same thing. I make my own connectors, usually.
And crispers. We'll talk about crispers too.
And crispers too, yeah. Crispers.
All right. Well, why don't you send it home, somebody?
Fits.
Well, me? All right, yeah. See you later or something.
Yeah. Thanks for coming
Yeah.
and all that. Happy
Thanks.
Father's Day. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for
Yes.
enduring us for 2 hours.
Well, 1 hour and 52 minutes, so we're not quite there yet.
8 minutes, man. 8 minutes? What's
we
wrong with 8 minutes?
We can do it. Fitz, go grab another plane from your ceiling. Have Terry guess what it is.
I had one
Just turned
fall
into a
down.
telethon.
Okay, yeah, the guys were at Hanson Hobbies. Thank you, guys. I couldn't remember, but thanks for pointing that out. So, yeah, our listeners were on the ball.
You never saw the Strega.
Oh, your new P51?
Yeah, well.
Oh, you're
must look
serious
at.
about this. You want to just keep going. Whatever.
All
Bye,
right.
Terry. I'll just hang Terry up.
Jeez Louise. No fun.
You fit
Fitz
that
is
I'm an hour ahead of you.
Yeah, Fitz is on a roll.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's getting past Terry's bedtime, and it's
All
it's a
right.
school night. All right, then. Well, everybody, thanks again for joining us for this live broadcast. We always enjoy it, like always. Enjoy the interaction with the people in the chat, and of course, mucking about in our workshops with our random pieces of stuff.
Our steaming piles of stuff.
And talking to Dr. Glue here, Lee was
That's my name for next time, Dr. Glue.
Dr. Glue.
If I can remember that.
All right. Steve's Bolton out here too. So everybody, thanks a lot. I know it's kind of late for those of you guys on the East Coast, and look for us next time. We'll have our normal show the next go around. And happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Bye.